It's episode 245 with the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to bring you the best options and information for you and your home. My name is Craig Williams. We kicked Kevin out and sent him to Florida. He's not here tonight. We got two special guests. We got my good buddy Josh White and Jessica Maloney in the studio. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
See, we did that right. See how the music just kind of...
Pretty good transition.
Yeah. It's like we've done this before or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? All right, so we'll get into like what you guys are here about, but we got a couple of news stories we want to get through real quick. So there was a report on the New York Post saying that of those living in New York right now, 1/3 of them want to leave within the next 5 years. And so like put this in context. They've already, I think, New York and California have lost about the same amount now. They've had about 330,000 people move out since last year.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, like, how many people live in New York?
Still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so of those left, 1/3 of them, 27%. So like just a little
So on
south.
top of who already left, there's more.
More.
Oh.
I know a lot of people from California have definitely moved down here.
Yeah, they moved here.
Oh, yeah. The traffic's been crazy.
Yeah. And there's been, and you can kind of look at the numbers and see, of those that have left California and New York, an equal number of that number of people have moved to Texas, Tennessee, and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's funny that you bring this up because I was actually talking to a few of my friends about that because, growing up how I grew up, I didn't really learn about politics or I didn't learn about economics and stuff like that. And so this would be, this is kind of a question for both of y'all, or just open. At what point do you think where the literal definition of insanity comes from by doing the same thing,
right,
and expecting a different result? Do you think at some point those people from those, let's call them blue states, where they're predominantly blue, where they're against, fossil fuels, oil and gas, the pipeline, the whole nine, and basic economics that make things thrive, do you think they're going to eventually learn that, I'm not saying it all has to be red, but there has to be some give and take? Because they're not leaving it because everything is holy and great.
Right.
They got everything they wanted. They got everything they voted for the most part. I know everybody sits on both sides of the fence.
Sure.
But do you think there's going to be eventually a transition where people are like, hey, I felt this way at the beginning, but now after going through these experiences, real life experiences, now I feel like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it probably will happen, especially with just how everything's been going and inflation and the moving and just all of it, not knowing that this was going to happen, or maybe people did and just wasn't expecting it to be this bad. But
I think a lot of people did. I think it's kind of like the people that are like, oh, it's not hard raising kids.
It's hard.
But it's like, you don't know that, and so you're actually raising kids.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
your whole schedule dictates it, and just like that, they can no longer change the circumstance they're in. They can't change the price of fuel. They can't change the price of fuel. Everything gets stuck.
They made a mess and they got to live with it.
That's
Yeah.
it. And so now, instead of dealing with it and
They're
living
moving.
with it, they're jumping ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think people are perfectly willing to segment themselves into different schools of thought.
Yeah.
Meaning, I think a lot of these people are not moving because they're having a change of heart on climate change or Second Amendment rights, or things that we might associate with the right where they're moving to. Yeah. I think most of them are making economic decisions and then taking their social issues with them.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And so they're perfectly happy to come into a place with lower taxes, less regulations.
But then you have to be open to the thought of
this is America. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, though. It's like, if you want the reality of it, you have to be, because this is one thing I've said, like, how I just went to that trip in Argentina?
Yeah.
Well, the people, it was our group, and then there was another group, and the people that we were paired with were from California.
Okay.
And had totally different views from me. So we imagined, me, we started off pretty rough because I was not pulling any punches and I was drinking good whiskey. But I told her, and I remember talking to her, I was like, by the end of this trip, you will love me. And she's like, no, I won't. And I was like, I promise you will, because you will sit down and talk to me. And once you talk to me, you're going to realize we have so much in common, just different views.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I come from a reality of the world. I come from poverty. I come from people that make bad decisions. Like, I am a product of that. And so I can look you in the face and say, these things don't work. I've been there.
Right.
You know, but when you leave those states or you leave those environments, you have to be willing to have an open mind to say, hey, maybe this didn't work, or maybe it didn't work all the way. What can we do to fix it?
Right. So for people that are listening, because you brought it up, I mean, like in 30 seconds, you say you come from poverty. Let everybody know, like,
so
brief synopsis of childhood Josh.
Yeah, so brief synopsis, 16 years in foster care. My parents gave me up. We're kind of scattered. There's a bunch of siblings, a bunch of dads, few moms. None of us talk. So, you know, growing up in, you know, Cut and Shoot, Splendora, northeast side of Houston, off of Waco and Yates. I mean, just different areas that I had lived in growing through foster home, and through multiple adoptions. And so for homes that didn't have running water, didn't have electricity, barely had a bed, and to shelters who were no better than those in RTCs.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean by poverty. And we can get all off into the details later,
Sure.
but 30-second synopsis.
Yeah. And then transition that today.
Yeah. Now,
How many businesses?
I believe we own 4 or 5 companies now.
Okay.
And we're doing very well.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's on like we've known each other for a long time now.
Long time.
It's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, it's amazing. And
It's
someone,
a huge growth.
yeah.
Really
And I mean,
huge
even
growth.
if you knew me 4 years ago,
Yeah.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, I'm not even the same man.
Right.
You know, I wasn't even a man then. I barely consider myself a man now, because when I look, no, I'm being honest. When I look at people like you and Kevin Mims and Harry Winslow, Kevin Cunningham, Thomas Martinez, those are men. You know, those are men that I look at them and I'm like, I don't know what you have, but I want it. I want your life. I love the trust you have with your wives. I love y'all's love for your children. Like, that's not something we have from where I'm from.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's not something
more-
you had.
I would
Yeah.
speak for a lot of other kids too, because
Well, yeah, that's true. I think,
it's environment. And so it's funny.
It's really truly about who you surround yourself
Yeah,
with.
because you can have a wealthy family and still be empty. You can have a poor family and still be
100%.
empty. And that's where, you know, I really get passionate, because I've partnered with organizations before, because they're like, hey, we love your story.
Right.
We love your passion, your success, your drive. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go help kids. And they're like, no, we want to help these kids. And I'm like, no.
We want to help all
We
the
are
kids.
helping kids.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're rich kids, poor kids, lost kids. Like, our home is open.
right.
Like, I want to be a hospital for the broken, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it doesn't matter where you come from, right? I don't care about your race. I don't care about your size. I don't
Everybody's
care about what you
welcome.
believe. Just like when I was in Argentina, I'm like, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to learn to love you for you. I don't care what you believe in. You could believe in Satan. You could believe in nothing. You could believe in oranges. I don't care. I want to love you for you. But we got to find that together. We got to know who we are to know what we love and what we don't love. You know, and that's one of the things, like, I don't believe in God, but here recently I've learned that I'm pro-life. I am. And people are like, and they try to throw all the statistics at me, and they try to, but I'm like, hey, look, I'll answer any question and I'll tell you why I feel the way it is.
Yeah.
But you got to respect that. And so the reason I'm saying all this is, just like the environment when I was a younger man destroyed me, made me a pathological liar, made me a thief. It got me into the point where I was in and out of jail. I was almost facing a life sentence in prison, and for just fraud and selling drugs and just all this crazy stuff that I just kept rolling and rolling. And there was nothing about me that you could love or even like. And you took that same man, or could have been a man, and put him in a different environment where people didn't condescend him. They didn't ridicule him. They didn't tear him apart. Instead, they built him up to who he could be,
Right.
who God wanted him to be, as Kevin would say. And that is what's got me where I am today. And so your environment dictates everything. And that's why I tell people, even if you
Completely
don't
agree.
like God, or you don't believe in God, or whatever it is your views are, get around people that love you for you. And when you succeed, they are about to cry. Like when you told me about your newfound ventures and how I was fighting back tears. I'm not even joking, because I know how hard you've been working for all of this.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, finally my boy gets a taste of that. You're like, we're almost there, dude. We're almost, because you've been doing it. You've been a vessel. You've been honest. You've been loving. You've been caring. And I'm so sick of seeing all these scumbags in the world who cheat, lie, and steal.
And then win. Yeah.
and then win. But they don't win. They win temporarily.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But still, until eternity is here,
Mm-hmm.
this temporary life is all we know every single day. And our kids are in it. Our families are in it. And so it destroys me when I feel people are torn by politics. And so I wish to create a place where there is no hate. I know it sounds childish and
That's
idealist,
not childish.
but I am a man of ambition and I don't settle.
Yeah.
And I think we can do it. And I think it's going to be an infection and it's going to spread across the world faster than we realize.
Are you familiar with the Pygmalion story at all?
No.
Or ever seen like My Fair Lady?
No.
Or Trading Places?
No.
Okay. So the Pygmalion is the first one, and then My Fair Lady. Have you ever?
I haven't. I mean, I've heard of the title, but I haven't.
I don't know that you can be a girl and not have seen that. So I mean, like, we might need to take your card.
Oh no, please don't.
You lost your mic privileges.
I'm gonna keep it on. I'm doing
That's
fine.
You're good. You're good. It's an old Audrey Hepburn movie.
Okay,
And so what it
yes.
is, it's this Aladdin.
Okay, I know Aladdin.
Okay.
Who doesn't know Aladdin?
I'm just, hey.
It's the same motif, right?
Yeah.
You've got the street urchin that gets his wish made, and then he gets to dress up like a prince.
Yeah.
And because he's now in that environment, he acts like the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pygmalion's very much. She was a girl living on the street. She was selling, crappy flowers, and this not nobleman, but like gentleman says, I can make her a woman of the court, and all I have to do is teach her how to speak right.
Okay.
Okay, and then there's this old Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy movie called Trading Places, and there's this rich white guy and this poor black guy, and these two rich white guys say like, look, I bet you if we take them and we switch places with them, that the white rich guy will take to crime like nobody's business, and the poor black guy will take to behaving like a wealthy guy immediately.
Yeah.
And that's the whole movie. It's a really funny movie.
I need to go watch that.
if
I'm gonna
you
have
haven't
to
ever
add
seen
those to my movie night.
I was
list.
asking because that's what you're talking about is like being in the right environment is everything.
Yeah,
There's a
it
lot
really
of
is.
people who think that it's both, right? That there's something in your brain, that because you're like you were going to end up like you no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it's funny because a lot of my family, part of them have gone off and been happy and wealthy in different means.
Yeah.
And then the other part have just fallen apart. And they both were all kind of raised in the same general area. Totally different lives, totally different childhoods, totally different people, different dads. And yet we all, depending on where our environments were, depended on our outcomes. Because it's not about where you're born. A flower doesn't choose where it's to blossom.
You
But
can
at
always
some-
choose the path you
but
take.
you can choose
Yeah.
whether to stay there.
yeah, that's,
Yes,
I think that's the
exactly.
difference, right? Is
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think
You got to learn to leave.
You don't have to be a product of your
Environment.
Yeah, exactly. If you grew up in a bad environment, you can always blossom from that.
Yeah.
You can grow and learn new things and just blossom as a person.
And I think the other thing people need to realize, it's never too late.
yeah.
Like truly, like people look at my life and they're like, man, the people you're around, they're lions. But I was like, you look at Josh 4 years ago, totally different. You look at Josh 4 years before that, horrible. You look at Josh 4 years before that, there's nothing you wouldn't even want to have a conversation with me, let alone be my friend. And now here I am. And and I'm only 28.
right.
And, we have the GC company, we have the Earthworks company, we have the electrical company, we have the utilities company, we have an equipment company. And I'm surrounded by just men, like lions of men. And they consider me one of their own. And because of I walk with lions, I may be a sheep today, but eventually I will be that.
Yeah.
And so it's never too late. And you do have to have a part of yourself to surrender and just be like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be who I am.
You have to
I
be
want
able
be.
to want to change.
Yeah. You
You're
got to
not
be
going
able
to
to
go
want to
anywhere
leave
if
the
you
swamp.
can't make that decision.
And someone told me this one time. I think I was playing chess with somebody at an airport or something, but he told me, just one of those guys spouting off one-offs. And he said, it was a long time ago when I was in Dallas. He said, you cannot heal in the same environment you got sick in.
Yeah.
Really
I
think
really
about
like
that.
that.
Like that. If I had to pick a word for journey home, it would be that. you cannot heal from the same environment you got sick in.
Yeah. I like that. Do you remember what I told you a few weeks ago?
Probably not.
No.
I don't remember what I did
That's why
today.
he has me to help remind him for things.
Did you watch the thing I asked you to watch about Exodus?
I think I actually did.
Yeah.
I think I did, but I've met a lot of new friends, and they have all crammed different Bible stuff on me.
Well, no, it's not Bible stuff.
Oh, it's not.
Well, I mean, it is of the Bible, but it's like a Jordan Peterson thing. Like,
Yeah,
where they're like,
I'm pretty sure I did because I think I mean I'm pretty. Now, don't quote me on it because like I said, man, my mind is all over the place.
No, what I told you is I think the spirit of Moses is on you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? Do you know the story of Moses? No.
I know stuff with the sea, and you know he was a terrible fisherman, you know. But
I don't know that came into it.
Well,
but,
I mean, you know, splitting the sea, you can't catch no fish.
Here's the thing.
Water.
here's the thing.
You turn water into wine. I know that part.
I think that was Jesus.
This is why I say that.
Still part of the Bible.
Wow.
This is I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of this dude's life.
All right.
Do you know he was a foster kid?
I did not.
Yeah. So his mother, in order to save him, put him in the river.
Yeah.
In a boat.
Yeah.
And
I've seen Egypt, or the Prince of Egypt. Is that kind of like that?
I don't think so.
I remember.
I mean, like there's probably aspects of it that are accurate, but
yes.
Yeah.
I recommend the actual,
the
the written word
The actual
part.
Moses.
Yeah.
Not Disney Moses.
But no, he was a foster kid.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting adopted by the Egyptian princess.
Yeah.
Okay. But realizes that he's not part of the family.
Yeah.
And sees the people that he knows that he's related to being abused. And so he murders one of the Egyptians.
That's literally like line for line for Prince of Egypt. Just putting that out.
Okay. I haven't actually seen, I don't watch a whole lot of animated films, but
that's like a classic. Even
okay. So you've seen it. Okay. So you know that part.
Yeah.
So like he murders the guy.
And then he runs away.
And then he runs away.
Yeah.
Where his life changes. He has the moment in the desert with the burning bush.
Yeah.
And then God calls him and he says, "No, I can't do it because I'm not good enough."
Yeah.
And God says, "That doesn't matter because I've called you to do it anyway."
Yeah.
So that's why I say that.
Yeah. No.
Because you're doing
That's a
stuff.
very fitting story to kind of how you came to be.
Yeah. And so like I see you doing that with the kids that you want to help.
Yeah.
And the young men that you want to raise up.
Yeah. Well, I don't want. It is so painful to realize that I could have had happiness so much longer ago, that I was chasing this finite dream of sex, drugs. I mean, you name it. There wasn't anything I wasn't doing.
Yeah.
And for nothing. Like nothing. Like while all of my friends, all of the men that I'm around today, like when I go to their homes, there's home cooked meals, there's kids, there's family, there's people. And, and not to say that what we have where we are, like with Joey and Vanessa, we have something, but it's different when it's your family. It's different when it's your kids. It's different when it's your wife that's greeting you at the door, you know? And so when I pour into these young men, I think it's so easy for me to talk to them because I'm like, you can't out foster me. Like I am literally the leader of the orphans. Like I am the broken of the broken, like nobody is going to lie to me. Mm-hmm. You can't lie to a liar. You can't BS a BSer. Right. And so no story gets past me. And so I can look at them and I'm like, look, dude, I get it.
You see straight through it.
I get what it's like to be unwanted and unloved. And I think I said this in a video a long time ago, to be like a rock in a river where nobody notices you, and it's hard to want to live when you have no reason to live, let alone to work. That was my biggest thing 2 years ago, because we were hitting that point of not small enough to be a small company, but not big enough to be a big company. But we were managing, a $5-6 million, probably more, $7 million project. And I couldn't find a reason to put my boots on because I was like, oh, finally, when I get money, I'll be happy. And then I got money and I was just
miserable.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
I just had more problems. That was literally it. And now I can buy anything I want.
Yeah.
But nothing got me up faster. I didn't change. I didn't go get a bigger house. I didn't get a fancy car. I drove the same thing. I live in the same dang house.
Probably one of the most humble people I know, truly.
And it's like, because I quickly realized that it wasn't something that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we went to a little, what they called it, the morning mingle with the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. So Great
been to
group.
that.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, at first I was like, man, this is
Where'd they have it this time?
First Financial Bank.
First Financial
Oh, okay.
Bank. Yeah, right there by
You need to make it one where they have it at the restaurant out at the airport.
the
Ooh,
Black Walnut.
Black Walnut, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat
Yeah,
place.
we
Maybe
actually
could
we ran
recommend
into
doing
some
that.
people that do work with them, and I know.
Were they at the thing tonight?
No, it was the other day because we do stuff with Mighty Equities, and Mighty Equities invests with them. It's a small world when you get all down to the back of it.
Nitty gritty.
Yeah, but a lot of good people. But yes, I love their restaurant. I love watching the planes. It's funny because right where you sit and watch the planes, where all those trees were cleared, is where we built the first subdivision.
Oh, yeah?
I've never
That's our
been there,
first.
but I want to go. I hear
dude,
What is
people
that?
talking
Which
about
one is
it all
that?
the
Pine
time.
Acre Trails.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was 256 acres. It was going to be 1,000 lots, and before we even got done with it, we were like cutting trees and cutting in roads, and someone came in and made all of us an offer, and Kevin just wheeled and dealed, did what he does best, and here we are today.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. But back to kind of what I was talking about, and that's where you got to find your own path. And when I was at the morning mingle, they were like, "Oh, Josh, we love your story. We love what you're doing. We like you said, it's powerful, it's passionate, and it's an American story. Mm-hmm. You can take a kid that was worthless and nobody wanted, and a family that just discarded him, thrown him away, and then turn him into that. Mm-hmm. But it's funny because I don't feel like I've done anything other than like I said, I think 13% of my success is actually me. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think the rest is the biggest thing is the environment. Mm-hmm. I've surrendered and I've changed environments. The second thing is I've surrendered my heart. I've surrendered my lies. I have dropped my walls and I've opened up my doors. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done being a piece of crap. I want these men to look at me and smile. I want I want to run with the lions. And it takes, like, a lot of people want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But they're not about it. But they're not about it. And it's tough. It's tough. And it's not about.
I actually heard a young man put it to me last night, and I was actually surprised because he's a little bit younger than you, and so I was surprised to hear it coming from him.
Yeah.
But he put it like this, and I thought it was really good. He said, I can't just be the guy who wants to be around good people so that I become like them.
Yeah.
I want to become better so that they all want to become like me.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that's different.
I was talking.
That's good.
That's what you internally really want it.
Yeah.
You want to become the better person.
Yeah.
Trying to become something good for somebody else
but
just
like,
isn't.
But like,
it's not
I think a
there.
lot of people want to become better via the people that they surround themselves with.
Of course, yeah.
But like to actually want to become better so that you can elevate those people
other
around
people around you.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's a service thing.
Iron sharpens iron, man.
Yeah.
And that's where I was talking to Kevin Mims, because Kevin's a unique character. He's such a kind and compassionate and generous man. I'm not sure if you've ever met Kevin.
Yeah, we've met a couple times.
But he is not exactly, like, doesn't just go out and social, doesn't go out and hang out. Like, he is so loyal and he takes care of his people. And I remember I was talking to Kevin the other day, some while back, because I was like, hey, man, we should do more stuff with Baldies, Deacon Baldies. We always do all these nonprofits and nobody ever hears about it. We do all these givings and nobody ever hears about it. I was like, we need to do more stuff. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I'm already taking care of the people I take care of. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to do all this and I'm just going to run wild. And then I want you to watch me because I'm going to show you how I feel. And what I meant by that is exactly what you said. I want him to look at me and him, Kevin Cunningham, all of y'all to be like, dude, I can't believe that is the same guy because this guy's now setting me on fire. The same guy that I thought I was helping is now helping me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because but at that point, you realize that your group of people, your environment that you're in is the environment you're supposed to be in.
Yeah. For sure.
But you have to be at that point. But again, not to say if you don't feel that way, that you're in the wrong steps, because it's not about how fast you get there. It's the destination that matters. So many people are so quick to get rich. They're so quick to have a family. They're so quick to be healed. And it's like, it's not about that, man. Like, put it this way. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to somebody and they were like, man, I'm so sick of struggling to pay my bills. I'm so sick of not having a family. I'm so sick of all these things. And I looked at him and I was like, look, dude, I get that. I do. Like, out of anybody, like, I get it. But do you watch a movie for one part of it? Do you only want to see the ending? No, because you're not going to enjoy the movie because you don't know why they're all happy. You don't know why everybody's crying. You don't know why they're walking into the sunset. You have to go through the bad to get the good. And not only that, it's the bad that makes us appreciate the good. So I've always had this theory, and I'm curious to see how y'all feel about it. So people, Donna died of cancer, right? My foster mom.
Okay.
The one,
Yeah.
out of all the homes, I went through 17, 18 homes. Out of all the homes I've ever been in, Donna was like one of the best and only one that actually really cared. There was a few transitions. I was with the Wilsons for a little bit, and they were awesome as well. But they literally lived down the road from Donna's. And the only reason I went to them is because everybody wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So Donna was a saint, and I think she saved over like 172 kids. I mean, just pure heart, God-fire Christian.
Anytime she's come up in conversations,
Yeah.
it's always been positive.
It's always. There's not a single person that I know that speaks ill of her name or her family's name with Vanessa and all of them. Dude, they're saints. And the thing, people are like, well, aren't you like angry at God? Don't you hate God for all the crap you've been through? Not only were you abused physically and sexually, all this stuff happened to you, Josh, and then you were tossed around through all these adoptions, all these homes. Everything was taken from you. You did nothing wrong, and you have been dragged through the mud. And then at the final tip of it, the one person that loved you more than anything dies of cancer, of all things. And I was like, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I agree. But hate's not going to get me anywhere, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, I'm not sure how many of y'all that are listening have kids, but when you have kids, are you having your kids to control them or to love them and let them live their life?
Yes.
It is not God's fault. Donna died of cancer.
Sure.
God has nothing to do. Yeah, he's almighty. He can change it, but that's no different than, it's like, why did God even make us free? If he was supposed to control all the bad and all the good, there was no point in our freedom anyways.
Sure.
So with that being said, who's to say that 70 years, 72, 75, whatever we live for, is not that small part of the movie that's bad when we get into the kingdom of heaven, which is eternity, to enjoy what is good forever.
I've always thought about that. Just like how your lifespan just,
It's so small.
yes.
But it's almost like, think about it, like with one of the girls and one of the boys, if they were trying to stick a fork in an outlet, you would pop them.
Oh.
They would cry because they would be like, you hurt me, yada, yada, not knowing you were doing it to protect them.
Yes.
But after that, now they're not only safe that time, they're safe for the rest of their life because now they know.
Yeah.
That's how I see our 70 years on this planet. And that's why I'm like, I got to get it together because I'm already 28.
Yeah.
I got to crush this because I got
That's
things I want to
exactly
build.
how I feel.
Yeah. And so it's funny because if you quit looking through life with lenses of hate and disgust and discomfort and stop saying, woe is me, and start thinking, instead of why me, ask yourself, why not me?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and even when you look at it like as like life being so short, I mean, what you do, like what a conversation that we can have right now in the course of like whatever, an hour and a half that we end up talking here.
Yeah.
Like that can change somebody's life.
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And like part of the reason I'm even bringing that up is just this last week, the man who was the preacher at the church I grew up when I was a kid passed away.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm still in touch with his children, and I have to call them. His funeral was yesterday. And I've sort of put together the message that I want to send them because I want them to know that even though I haven't been around their dad for 20 years
plus,
maybe 30 years.
He left an
actually,
impact
it's more
on
than
you.
30, massive impact. And not just like on me. Like my children wouldn't be the way that they are
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the church community that man built in this little bitty town in Florida that my parents happened to end up in. And that his wife ended up being a lifelong friend of my mother who's been a massive encouragement to her over the years. And so like the way that just like trickles
Transpired.
through eternity.
Yeah.
That like, but that was just like a brief moment in my life.
Yeah.
But that it's so significant to me that it massively affected me today.
Yeah.
That I'm even talking about it right now as like a
Well,
42-year-old
It's so
man.
crazy because when you look back on things and you're like, what if this wouldn't have happened the way it did? How would my life be like now?
Oh, yeah.
You
Even
know?
from kids or
yeah.
meeting somebody or
Yes,
things that you didn't think was
exactly.
going to be the
if
way
I
they were
didn't
supposed
go
to be.
to this place at that time, that night, I would have never met that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and my life
No.
could be completely different today.
No,
You just
100
never know.
Well, and that's where, you know, part of like why what you were talking about. Did you ever see my video when I went up to Portland, Oregon for track?
No.
You didn't see that? Where I actually talked to the founders of track.
Oh,
the
okay.
people that started track in their backyard.
Oh, wow.
And they asked me and Kevin to come up there, Cunningham, to speak, and we had a whole panel that we did.
When was this?
Oh, I'd say 2 years ago. 3
Okay.
years ago. Yeah, I mean, it's a little old.
I'm sure Brandy said something to me about it.
Probably. Yeah, don't worry. I know what it's like to forget.
I listened to my wife.
Yeah, me too.
Men's praise. I will say no more.
Yeah. But no, the whole point of the segment that they gave me is that they felt like people were being disheartened to hear lately, because it's like you help with all these foster kids and all these sexually abused kids, but does it actually help them?
Yeah.
What's funny, so I told them a little bit about me in Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm not sure if y'all know, and I gave them the whole spiel about all the shit I was doing, all the lying, the stealing, the drugs, the identity theft, the fraud, and all the stuff that was going to ruin my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I had met Kevin Cunningham when I was 6, 7, he was originally supposed to mentor my brother, Matt.
Okay.
But instead, Matt had his own path he was doing, and so Kevin ended up hanging out with me. Well, this was right around that time I started getting into drugs. I started getting into drinking, and he started kind of mentoring
Just for
me.
context, how old were you?
I was probably, I think, 13,
Okay.
12.
Yeah, no, I think
the
it's
first
important
time.
for everyone to know that.
Yeah, so I think I
At
was...
the age of 6.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it was like I was probably 13 when I first started, when I first tried cocaine, and then heavily drinking. And I mean, significance to the point where I was getting in trouble and they were pulling me out of school. And, I was going through different adoptions. So it was hard for me and Kevin he was doing his best, but it's like finding a needle in a haystack when it comes to foster kids. Mm-hmm. And I remember it all vaguely. And I mean, it's there, but it's not.
All right, sure.
Because it's so long ago. But mostly it's there because it was so painful, but it's not because I drank myself stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's tough, because when we're on this panel, we're talking about it, because it's like you see these kids that are so jacked up from everything they've gone through. And finally, when they get to a place where they're loved and they're cared for, you can't help them, because you're like, how do I help this kid? He's so far gone and he's only 13,
Yeah.
And that's how it was. But had those two, the founders of track, not started track
Mm-hmm.
and spread it like they did, right? And Tim was the main guy, and he fell in love with his wife, and they have like the cutest story, because when he was trying to hit on her, he pretended to be a blind guy.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he picked her. No, I swear. And he picked her
That's
up.
gold.
He picked her up in a car, and it was like, I think it was like an arranged date. Tim, don't be mad at me. I don't know how to tell the whole thing. It's been a while. But he picked her up, and he had the cane out the window, the whole
Oh
nine,
my gosh.
hitting stuff, driving. And she was just
Man,
like,
that
she
is
was
some
like,
commitment
what
right there.
is going on?
She was a brave woman to even get in
yeah.
the car.
Yeah. I was like, can you even see to drive?
I guess she thought he was playing or something. I don't know, but we'll have to get him down here. They're supposed to come see me.
I want to talk to him about this.
They're amazing. But I told him when I was on their panel, I was like, if you don't realize, if Tim would have never made himself into a fool to impress you for a memory that would never leave you, y'all would have never got together.
Yeah.
Had y'all not got together and got married, Tim wouldn't be the man that he is today because of you. Like, every man can agree, behind every strong man is an even stronger woman.
For sure.
And had they not been married, Tim would have never have changed and been who he was. Had that not happened, they would have never founded Track.
Yeah.
Track never founded. Track would have never got back to Texas, because they were in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
I think he actually spoke at the fundraiser this year.
Did he?
I think he did. Yeah.
I remember they were supposed to come down or do something.
I think that, yeah.
But because of that, because it got all the way back to Texas, that's what got Kevin and Molly involved. Well, because they got involved, I met Kevin. No, because I met Kevin, and because I was in the camps. I was in the kids' camps for foster kids. And because I've met Kevin, Kevin then turned around and saved my life and kept me out of prison and kept me from facing a life sentence and changing my whole life. And now here I am turning around helping other kids. And the reason that I'm bringing all that up is because you were talking about the pastor.
Yeah.
Well,
Keith
I called it
Keith Ellis is his name, by the
Keith.
way. Yeah.
So because of Keith, I called it a ripple effect because they helped way back then start this whole deal. It rippled all the way down to Texas. And now it's my turn to create a ripple effect all over America.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought was cool, because you never know who you're going to help. All it takes is a little bit of kindness. Just telling somebody, hey, you're going to do great today. Hey, don't give up. Hey, a little harder. Hey, you know what? This may be your first time doing audio. Don't let it get to you, man. Everybody, it's their first time. Every master was a beginner at some point.
That's how you learn.
You got this.
Trial and error.
You got this, Rizzler.
We believe in you, man.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
No, Keith honestly has a very similar. He ran a camp in Alabama. Man, I think did it for like 40 years.
Oh, wow. 40 or 4?
40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's called Camp Wiregrass. And I had 2 interactions with Keith in my life. One was when I was a kid. He was the preacher at the church I went to. And then 2, when, I don't even know if I've told you about this. Do you know that was about the bonfire that fell at A&M?
Yeah, I heard about that.
You know, I was there.
I did not.
Yeah,
No.
so I was there when it fell. I mean, just like tore me up, destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot about me.
They said like how many people died? Like 8?
There was 12.
12.
Yeah.
The 12 fallen. Yeah.
Wow. That is insane.
And one of them was a guy in my outfit. His name was Chris Hurd.
Yeah.
But anyway, shortly after that happened, Keith called me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey man, why don't you come be at camp?
Yeah.
Why don't you come help out at camp?"
That camp.
Yeah, that camp.
That is funny.
And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, I think you'll really enjoy it."
Yeah.
And like, I think he knew what had happened,
Yeah.
and he knew what I'd been through, and I think he just knew that I needed some time in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so like he invited me out, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It's life changing.
And he invited me to, rather than sit in my mess,
Yeah.
to come out and serve some kids.
Yeah. But it's crazy because it's like you
Make
go
a
out there.
positive out of a negative
yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to somebody about this, but it's like you think you go out there to help the kids, but in the end, it's like the kids help you.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy because like I've talked to so many people about this, because I get people that approach me all the time. And they're like, "Josh, what do we say? What do we don't say? How do I sit? How do I talk to them? What if they break down?" And I always tell them, dude, just be you. They're just kids. Like people are like, "No, they've been sexually abused." I'm like, I'm not saying none of that hasn't happened.
Right.
I'm not saying there's not triggers or things, but I'm just saying they're still people.
You want that personal connection.
Your own
Yeah.
kids could have the same things happen. It's not just a foster kid thing. It's a kid thing.
It's a kid thing.
And that's where, one of the other things, I know I spoke to you about me being pro-life, and that's where, we live in such a crazy world with all the transgender and all that kind of stuff going off. It's like kids just need to be kids. And if you're going to look at me and tell me that they know exactly who they want to be and their identity, I'm going to call BS. I'm going to tell you, because I wasn't even 20 when I figured out what I wanted to be. And even then, I was still lying out my butt, dude. I was so all over the place. And it's like, so you can't tell me. And I'm a highly intelligent individual. I've always been foxy. I've always been crafty. I've always been good at lying. No. And that takes intelligence. And I still didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
Really. And I went through a lot of things. I may have been a liar, but that doesn't make me a liar. I may have been a thief. That doesn't make me a thief. You could be a murderer, but that doesn't mean you are a murderer. That just means you messed up. But you can always figure it out. So that's why I just feel like as adults and as a community, more importantly, we need to come together to protect kids and let kids be kids. And that's why I love the
Completely agree,
kids. That's why I love the camps and all these things.
Yeah.
Just protecting people and letting people grow organically is what they need, and that's where, and it's funny because we give and we give and we give, but it was just like I was saying, every time people were like, "Josh, I love what you do." And I'm like, I appreciate it, flattery, but I do it because I'm selfish, because I get more from it than they get from me.
Yeah. Nice. All right, so I got to circle back around to something that I promised everybody I would do, because we did a live event I want to get back to some
No,
of
no,
your
I was,
business.
just, I was laughing because I was like, I have a habit of this. I'm just like going off.
No, it's
I
fine.
make my own path.
No, it's fine. We're gonna.
You thought we were
Little
talking about this.
cobblestones just trickling off.
Yeah, just go ahead and throw that out the window. He's like, are we doing this?
Yeah, nah, that's not good. I have to do this because
you're
we
good.
did a live show and we asked a survey question at the live show, and so I got all the data from that.
Okay.
And then we put it out on social media, and we wanted to get some responses from that. So here's the question.
All right.
And I'm going to ask you guys because I want to get your thoughts on it before I give you the data.
Okay.
Okay. So the question was, would you rather hire a 27-year-old? Let me make sure I got this right. It was either 27 or 28-year-old. It shouldn't make a difference because it's essentially the same person. 27, 28-year-old with an MBA.
I already know where this is going. Let
Yeah,
me
I
go
think I do
first.
too.
Okay. 27, 28-year-old with an MBA or a 50-year-old retired veteran with zero experience.
Veteran all day. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. So I've learned this with a lot of people because obviously being young, one, we the young, no matter how humble, we are all arrogant to a sense.
Excuse me.
Right. You're excused.
Thank you.
We have a sense of pride, right? You ever heard when people talk to younger people and they're like, oh, I'm going to go fight. I'm going to go do this. And they're like, when you're older, that's going to kind of settle down.
Yeah.
It's maturity, right? Women get a lot faster than men, right?
Yeah.
And so with the young, even if he has his bachelor's, even if he has his master's, I don't care because he lacks experience.
Yes.
And especially if I'm hiring people, you got to deal with difficult situations. You have to learn to think ahead, think of the people around you.
Some of that stuff you don't learn with a degree.
You don't.
You have to have experience.
I didn't go to college. Make sure everybody realizes.
Yep.
I barely
I didn't
made
go
it
to
through high
college for
school.
what I'm doing
They just
either.
gave me a diploma. I didn't take a test.
Yeah.
I didn't take a test. I didn't do any of the courses. They just gave it to me. And I didn't go to college. I learned business by doing business.
That's how everyone learns business.
There you go. So to answer, I will tell you the results, and it's going to be the 50. Because not only,
feel like
even
it
if
will.
you took away the veteran part, which is just icing on the cake.
Sure.
I mean, you're
I think
putting
so.
the nail in the coffin. Like that, it's a done deal with that. It
Yeah.
was already set.
I was
I'll tell you
trying to
what.
trigger the anti-military folks. That's
No, well, no, there is.
I understand that, but,
doesn't-
like, it didn't work,
This
but-
dials back. No, this dials back to veterans. Not only do they protect everything. You know, I was talking to Morgan Luttrell about this the other day when I went to. He came over here to Willis, I think it was, to the convention center, and we were talking about foster kids and military. It's like they literally pave the way to our freedom. You know, and that's where the terminology, it's not free, it's paid in blood. Literally.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so dialing back to your question, 50. So the reason I would choose the 50 without the veteran part is because 50, that is 50 years of life.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is 50 years of experience. That is 50 years of success, 50 years of failure, 50 years of marketing, 50 years of regression, depression.
You have to go through a lot of stuff to get good at what you want to do.
Not even
you have to
getting good.
do
You just-
failure
if you're
and success.
If you're alive for 50 years, you're going
You're
through a
doing
lot,
lots.
period.
Yeah.
Think about what we've been
mean,
through, and
even-
we're 28.
Yeah. Oh, I've
29,
been
30.
through the ringer with some of this stuff, and
just
to be
saying-
where I'm at today, I feel very grateful.
No, yeah, but I'm not even saying like what we do. I'm saying life.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff Joe Biden's doing now, all the stuff with the economy.
Yeah.
50 years of that.
Yeah.
That brings experience. That's why I was talking about when we first opened the show, when I was like, do you think the people that chose what they chose and got what they wanted will then change? Because I think they will. I think people have a way of, again, it's never too late. You learn things by going through things.
Yeah.
And so that's the 50 right there. Now the veteran is just a whole other deal. Because
Cherry on the Sunday.
It's it's more than a cherry because funny thing is I think I heard not Jordan Peterson, who's the other guy that's really, really good. Kirsten always talks about him. I love him, but I
I'm
can't
going to
think
need
of his
more
name.
context.
I know.
I
If she
have
was
no
here.
idea.
Simon,
Oh, Simon Sinek.
is it Sinek? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he talked about, and I'm going to word this, I'm probably going to butcher it. But he said the most successful operations team are the SEALs. They get the highest results out of everybody. You know why that is? No? See, I didn't. Because I was like, I don't know, because they're like badasses. I mean, there's the SEALs. And they're like, no. And so he went over there and he did a kind of like a little interview podcast thing. And he was like, so how do you do it? Do you just pick badass guys that are just crushing it? He was like, actually, no, we don't get guys who are really, really good at something. He drew out a chart. And he was like, this is where people kind of fail, right? Their laziness, and this is their likely to succeed. No. It was, I'll have to pull it up, but it was like success over hard work or something like that. And he talked about everybody wants this guy. Super successful, super hardworking, super efficient. I think it was efficient versus hardworking. I think it was that makes more sense. He's like, everybody wants a hardworking, efficient guy. But how hard is it to find that? And so I was talking to Kevin Mims about this earlier because I was like, we were having to hire more people. And I was like, I've gotten really good at hiring people. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, yeah? And I was like, look at my team. Have you met Jeremy Fiskus yet?
No, not yet.
So Jeremy runs that.
Genius.
He is a dirt guru. Mm-hmm. Like, you slit this dude's wrist open, it's going to be motor oil and dirt.
My car breaks down, I called him. So
dude. He could tell you how to fix it over the phone.
Yeah, he literally did.
Yeah.
We called him.
Yeah. So you get guys like that. Those are your 10 out of 10s. Cassandra, you get Jess. These people are once in a lifetime at what they do.
Yeah.
So by all means, grab them. Those are your team leaders, but that is not your team. Your team has to be somewhere in the middle of 50-50, because 50-50, I can go to a pool of 100 people and guarantee 80% of them are at least 50-50.
Okay.
So if I base my mathematics off of a team that I know what they can do, and I put one of these people on top of them, boom, you got the SEALs. Mm-hmm. So you have a commanding officer that is once in a lifetime with a team he knows how to operate. And that's how you get high-end results. Mm. And that stuff you only learn with experience and firefight.
Yeah.
Because you have to. There is no, are they going to have my back? It's you have their back, and if they don't have yours, you're dead.
Yeah.
There is no questioning. And so the 50 is already great because it's experience. Uh-huh. And then the military part is like they are just bred to be a team. And this is the part that I hate the most about our education system is every test we take is individual. Every deal we do is individual. There is no team activities. No teamwork,
yeah.
But then when you get out into the real world, what do they expect you to do?
Because
work in a team.
What do they call teamwork in school?
I don't know, cheating.
Cheating. No, that's exactly what they call it.
Don't copy your neighbor's work, my man.
Dude, I was teamworking this entire time. That's why I'm such a great leader.
Oh, gosh.
But no, it's true.
I will say we have a very, very good team.
We have a solid team.
We have a great team.
Just not even on our side, like Deacon Baldy's side, the people that run the bar, the Kevin, Harry, Tiffany, all of us. Yeah. All of us are just Cassandra. I mean, everybody is so unique in their own area.
But we still work so great together.
It's a methodical machine. It's just a well-oiled machine. And it's amazing because it's like we're all SEALs in our own way.
Yeah.
Because we know, like, not only do we care about each other, and really care, and I mean care. Like, we go to each other's kids' birthday.
We are a family.
Dude,
like
100%.
That's what I love about all of that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Kevin and Harry are the main leaders in the deal. That they're my people that I look up to, and I would probably say some of the most important people to me in my life. Mm-hmm. Like Kevin believed in me when so many people didn't. Yeah. So many people told me to get a job. So many people told me I was going to fail. So many people were just like, you're not going to do it, dude. You drop too many F-bombs. You're not a business guy, Josh. Yeah. And then Kevin, I remember it. He looked at me and he was like, no, you just need to be cleaned up a little. Yeah. That's what he said. He literally was like, you just need a little bit of tweaking and you'll be fine. Yeah. You'll be amazing, actually. And I was like, holy shit, dude. I was like, thanks, man.
You need a little more tweaking.
A little bit.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. But no, so that's my answer. So
yeah. Do you want to know the numbers?
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna guess.
Okay, go ahead.
82
for the veteran.
Okay. To what's the other math? Like 14? No, 16.
16.
Don't even ask me because I don't do math
82
anymore.
to 16.
So
I do marketing.
Here's how it actually panned out. 78% said veteran. Right, you weren't far off.
You're lacking,
but
all need more experience.
Well, so here's you want to hear the rest of this?
Yeah.
78% went for the veteran, 5% went for the MBA, 15%, and this was the one that irritated me. Said, "This is too vague. I need more information."
What?
Like they
I
complain.
don't think you really needed more information.
They complained about the question. Here's my problem with that: is like these are people that don't understand how to play a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Play it by what's being.
Yeah,
it's the deck of cards you've been dealt.
Yeah, these are the cards. This is the information you have.
So-
Make a decision based off this information.
Can I ask a question though? With these statistics,
Yeah.
did you take an age group on that?
No. This
No,
is
just
just straight,
everybody? Okay.
straight response.
Just
And
roll off of Facebook.
I put it out only to business owners.
Okay.
Only to business owners. So 15
wow.
15% of them
Just said that.
just said that's not enough information. Which I get that. Like if you're having a regular interview, you're going to get more information than that.
But
the fun of the question is
what I just did.
Yeah, it's like this is the parameters of the game that we're playing.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry you don't like it.
But again,
That's part of tough decision making.
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
this is why so many people fail at life is they are not creative enough. You can't take something so simple and make it into something interesting.
Yeah.
I could talk about anything.
Yeah, because I'm more interested in like why you would choose one or the other. Not like this isn't cool. I don't like this information.
Yeah.
I need more information. Like okay, I get
Read
that.
I'll
into
talk-
it and
everyone
figure
needs
out
more information.
why
Dude,
you
I'll talk
feel
about anything.
one or the other.
You could be like, Josh, why is this banana better than the glass? And I'm like, let me tell you about when I was 7.
Story time.
Story time with Josh.
Hey, we can do a whole podcast on that.
Oh man, y'all don't want to go down that. You ever seen Alice in Wonderland on drugs? That's basically what my brain's
I think Alice in
like.
Wonderland was on drugs.
We
So-
literally
I'm
just
saying
watched
that,
that
like,
last night.
the
That's
animation one or the
Oh no, the new one, the looking. What do we watch? The Looking Glass. The new
okay,
second
so
one?
here's
sounds like
here's what you
drugs.
need to find. Here's what you need to find.
Hey,
This is
Elena
okay.
picked it.
Everyone on the internet, just pay attention right now. Back in the day, this was before you guys were born. There was a Alice in Wonderland series that Disney put out on Friday nights.
Oh man, I wish I would have been alive for that.
sounds
And
weird.
it was trippy if you go back and watch it now.
Like
Wait,
how way back
I've
like
seen-
70s, like when
No,
everybody's
no, no,
doing
no.
I've
When do
drugs.
you think
seen
I was
that
born?
when
I
I
don't
was
know, man.
really, really young.
I didn't know if you were talking about
know
you.
It is trippy. I've seen like a clip of it at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like YouTube or something, but it is trippy.
Yeah.
It is.
Because it's like really bad effects.
Yes. It's like when you look at something and you're like, oh my gosh, that
It's
was
like a
made so long
government
ago.
play
The
for
pixelation
children.
sucks.
It's like, look, we
Like,
spent all the money on the military, so this
Yeah.
is what y'all got. And you're like, this is
You're
what
not
20
getting good
this is $27.
pixelation today.
It's like, yeah, make it work. And here's some
and
cardboard.
like just visions of like
And
who
2
the
hand
actors
grenades.
were and like
Yes.
the, like people dressed up like caterpillars.
They're
It was
creepy.
not good. Not
It
good.
was creepy.
Yeah.
That's
And watch everybody goes to
They're
YouTube
going-
after this and be like, oh my God,
ratings
that's
go up.
up.
There has to be clips of it out there. It
That
was
is awesome.
so bad. Like they've buried that deeper than Song of the South. That's for sure.
It kind of reminds me of like I remember growing up and I really liked Wizard of Oz. And there's also an old Wizard of Oz that kind of takes that same route where
I've never
it's
seen
kind of
that.
creepy. Have you ever,
I've never seen Wizard
Oh
of
my
Oz.
gosh.
I've been
I'm going to have a movie night with him and my children.
Yeah,
And like,
I mean,
we're just going to do
hey,
Disney
remember,
movies.
I come from the east side of 45. Okay,
Uh-uh.
yeah, like shout out. To all
Okay,
the
Disney
people.
movie night.
Even though you're probably not listening
Hey,
to this.
to be fair,
for
that was
Dylan.
the side with a dollar theater. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. But no, I want to try. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
you.
go ahead.
So this is one of the other things that I've learned to encourage with the young people is like they won't do anything because they're so afraid of upsetting.
Right.
You know, and so that was like my whole thing about pro-life. Like you don't have to be a Christian or a follower of Christ or believe in God to think the Bible is great. Mm-hmm. I've been reading the Bible here recently, just kind of diving into it because I want to be able to look you in the face and say, hey, no, I disagree and this is why.
Sure.
Or hey, I agree and this is why.
Yeah.
Or hey, let's talk about this. I don't understand.
I'm looking
this.
forward to
Or
that
agree to
conversation.
disagree.
Yes. No, and a lot of people are, and that's
Yeah.
why I've taken it so serious. But the deal is you have to stand for something because if not, you'll fall for anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
For anything.
Yeah.
And that's where.
And
I
by the
was
way,
like,
I'm not looking forward to that conversation to argue with you. I'm more interested
I
to
don't
hear your
argue. I have a discussion.
No, I'm more interested
all
in hearing
about
your
it.
perspective.
Yeah. Well, I was so far from little snippets and stuff I've done
Uh-huh.
just because, we got a lot of stuff going on at work. I'm not saying that I couldn't dedicate more time. I just don't.
Sure.
That's a simple answer. There's no excuse. But the thing is that I get so frustrated and so aggravated with the wishy-washies, the people that just want to exist. I got into an argument with one of my friends about when we had the election with Joe Biden and he won and they were like, oh, this is crap. This is garbage. And I'm like, did you vote? He was like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
And shut up.
Yeah, and I'm like, then
That's
you're
exactly
missing
how I
the
feel about
whole.
it.
You're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
He's like, my vote's not going to count.
You
I'm like,
didn't do your vote does count.
it does.
It
And then-
does.
It definitely doesn't count now.
No, not now.
Yeah, maybe not now because you didn't vote. But it's like they let things happen. That's why I have this other kind of saying that I say that if you watch somebody get bullied, you're just as
as
guilty
bad as the bully.
As the
Yeah.
bully. I'm not saying like if there's 3 guys over there beating up somebody, you got to go. But I mean, do something.
Yeah.
Go
Say
get somebody.
something.
Do say something.
If you're
Say
allowing
something.
it to happen,
You're just as guilty.
yeah.
Maybe you're a fast runner. Throw a trash can at him.
Whatever.
And then, okay.
Do
Throw a trash can, yeah.
do whatever. But I'm saying if you sit there and do nothing, that is why, because people are like, oh, America's not great. And I'm like, have you traveled the world?
Yeah.
Because I've been to a lot of places, and I promise you, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing here.
Yeah.
It is. Our roads are wider. We have food everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like we.
I don't think
are
America
an
really
oasis.
realizes how good we do have it.
Well, no,
compared to
that's
other
like being born in a
countries.
wealthy family and trying to understand what the value of money is.
Yeah.
Like you just be like, no, we just swipe and I get stuff.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about this. So we've been to the Ukraine twice.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been to Kiev twice.
Yeah.
So like where all the fighting and stuff's happening right
Yeah.
now. So we had a friend from there. Her daughter needed a medical treatment. And so she's come and she stayed with us. She stayed with some other friends. But I still remember the first time that she came. And
Mind blown.
yeah, she went to a grocery store.
Shell shocked.
She was just overwhelmed
Yeah.
with the idea that we have access to so much food.
Yeah.
And like having been there, I can understand why. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
None of that. Like when I was trying to explain to people about Amazon,
uh-huh.
and they're like, 24 hours, you just get whatever you want.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I just click a couple buttons and
Yeah, I
And
get
it's
it.
here in 2 days.
and it's there. And they're like, do you have to give any to the government? And I'm like, well, I mean, there's taxes. They're like, no, like to the military. Like, because when I was in Argentina, I didn't know all of their military.
You got to bribe them.
Yeah, you got to bribe them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's like you're rich or you're poor.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. I mean, you'll call it, if you want to call it middle class, go ahead, but
There's
it's not.
not.
No.
Yeah.
No, either you're wealthy or you're not. And if you're wealthy, you're involved with the government.
Yeah.
That's it. And I mean, all the way from ammunition where I told them, oh, y'all don't have like, like an academy. And they were
gosh.
like, no. And then
No, we don't.
my buddy Jonathan from L Squared was like, because I kept saying back in Texas, 'cause I don't speak Spanish. So I was like flipping through my phone and I'm like, back in Texas, we have
like-
academy. And so then Jonathan was like, back in Texas, we have roads and houses.
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, we do have roads and houses. Very big houses, very big roads back in Texas.
Back in Texas.
So now we have this.
I feel like
whole
that's
joke.
good. It's gonna need to be a hashtag or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dude,
I'm probably gonna get it like
it is
tattooed.
not good for America for me to go international traveling because,
Dude, no.
well,
I
because
literally wore a Texas shirt down there.
because when I go, like what does everyone ask you first? Like, is where are you from?
Yeah, Texas.
I'm from Texas.
Greatest country ever.
And they're like, do you have horses?
Oh yeah.
Oh
it's
my
like-
gosh.
I tell them,
And it's
I'm
like,
like,
yes.
oh yeah.
Stereotype
Yes, I do.
of us.
I was like,
we
we ride our
actually-
horses through the drive-thru.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, Montgomery.
We
It
actually
happens.
did. We actually did do that during the flood.
People did that when I was in high school, but it's not like.
But like
I tell people
I
that we
fit
have
the
trauma
stereotype,
hog
and so
Yeah.
like I can't lie to them and tell them no to make us sound
Yeah.
normal. And so like, no, it's just the Wild West.
See,
It's just the Wild West.
Anytime I've gone anywhere, even like TikTok or anything like that, like you're from Texas. I was like, really?
You know, a lot
How
of
did
people
you
love
know?
Texas. They
I
love
was
it.
like the accent.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
They
feel
do.
like I have an accent, but apparently people just
I have never felt more attractive than when people are like, "You're from Texas." I'm like,
get your cowboy
"Yeah,
hat
no."
on.
I actually parked my horse
Right over there,
on the plane
yonder.
yonder. Yeah, I was just coming over here for my pistols and maybe I don't know, like a barrel of whiskey.
Yeah, I was about to say the whiskey. Yeah,
But no, man.
as you ride away drunk on your horse.
Yeah, and the airport. It's very common in Texas. We actually don't even take planes. We fly horses. We strap them with
Unicorns.
jets. So like a lot of the
Unicorns
military budget goes to, mobile horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do call it the cavalry.
Yeah.
Even though it's tanks.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a massive military haul going through town today.
Yes.
Really? I
Okay,
didn't
I've
see
been
it.
seeing that a lot lately.
Yeah,
I
I don't
have.
really.
Yeah.
Like it was a bunch of Hummers and tanks
Yes.
on rail cars going down 2854.
rail cars.
Like I stopped and took like a video today. It was crazy.
wow.
So I mean, I've seen it before, but it was a lot.
My thing that gets me is when the
Over the
planes
past,
come
like,
over.
really, the past maybe 6 months to a year, I've seen it on and off, and like the jets coming through,
Yeah.
all the military stuff, and I'm like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, like
That makes you want to be in the military just so you could know.
oh yeah, like what's
You
going
know?
on?
Like I'd love to like
I'm
get
curious.
on. I think I'm just gonna go like so hardcore with my story so I can get like politically famous. So
Showing
then I
in,
can
like,
go,
Area 51 or
well, yeah,
something.
no, I can go chill with like Joe Rogan and talk about stuff and be like, hey
That
man,
would be so dope.
I've been like, hey, I want to talk to you about this because
It's like, can you let me in on some secrets?
I'm gonna like. Well, no, he's not gonna know, but I'm gonna find people that do know. Like I'm gonna hang.
He can get you in line with the people that know.
I can get a line with the people I know. I feel like they're just gonna be like Edward Snowden, where they're gonna be like, look, I went through all the system. There's nothing there, and I'm like, I don't believe you.
But then they came after him, so
True.
So
you don't want that.
I did get a bit of an inside bit one time when I was younger. I'm still friends with this guy. Where does he live now? I think he lives in Waco. But he was part of the underwater demolitions team for the Navy. Really? So like the guys that like aren't SEALs but like still do. So they have most people don't know this, that there's a naval base in Key West. It actually takes up like half the island. Like it's because you can't get there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when I was a kid, he took me over there, and this was
You can't get there, but I went there.
But yeah, you can't. I mean, like you have to have like an
It's
escort.
like Costco,
Yeah.
but with you got to pass.
You don't know
bigger
the exact
batch.
location.
Yeah, you gotta. Did you fly your horse in there?
Yeah, my seahorse.
Underwater horse.
It's like Aquaman.
yeah, that's
fine.
pretty cool.
But so there's, and I'm not giving away any secrets here, but like they have,
I wouldn't.
they have a base there, and like part of what they do there is they literally train seals and dolphins for underwater.
Dolphins.
Yeah, for underwater combat.
That's kind of cool.
And so he was taking me through and showing me the dolphin pools and
Did they like strap them with like?
Aren't
M16s?
dolphins like one of the most intelligent animals?
yeah, they're one of the
Yeah.
most, yeah. So they
I got some facts about dolphins. I'm not gonna drop them on here because I'm gonna save the viewers. But DM me if you want to know some scary things. I'm like Weird Facts 101, by the way.
so the dolphins are mainly for transportation underwater.
Could you imagine riding a dolphin with a rocket launcher? Like the fear on your enemies' faces, where they're like, we're watching for them on the land, we're watching them in the sky, and you're like, what
They're
the?
underwater.
I know they come up and they're like,
Yeah.
and you're like, is that a? He's got
dolphin.
M60s strapped to that dolphin, and the dolphin's got like those Raider glasses on.
So here's
Like every
this,
military guy.
This is what's mind blowing. Like these guys' jobs are to like undo underwater bombs. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing
Yeah, on a dolphin.
on a dolphin.
Could you imagine how hard
But they
it was
also
to
have
pick up women? Like I ride dolphins.
I ride dolphins, yeah.
Underwater. Put
that on your dating profile?
Yeah, literally. They're gonna be like, yeah.
I'm
And
29 and I ride dolphins.
Yeah.
You know,
And they're gonna be
with
like,
rockets.
okay.
But and so like my question was, so what are the SEALs for? Like they're sea lions.
I thought you meant like the Navy SEAL.
No,
I
like,
was
sea lions.
Yeah.
And like they're there with the dolphins, which
Don't they
like
aren't they like herders for dolphins? Because sea lions eat dolphins, don't they?
no,
No.
they're much smaller. I mean,
they?
well, they're about the same size, I guess. But anyway, he told me, he's like, look, he said, there's nothing more aggressive and protective than a sea lion.
Really?
He's like,
I put a hippo.
it will take somebody's arm off that tries to mess with me.
Wow.
And so like my mind had to comprehend, okay, so
like
like
a dog.
Like
Kinda
a dog.
Like a dog. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's like an underwater dog is what it is. And so he was like, so like I had to like comprehend this. Okay, so like you're underwater trying to disassemble bombs so that submarines can go through.
Yeah.
And there's actually other people in the water trying to stop you.
With dolphins.
With
do
seals
they
and
have?
dolphins.
Do they have? So it's like a seals and dolphins fight.
Yeah.
Dude, I
That is
really
some
like.
Isn't that
gangster.
bizarre?
Dude, that is gangster.
I
like,
want
could
to
you imagine getting to like?
experience that. I feel like
Like
that
how
would
do you
be-
you even apply for that job?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Like,
like,
what- like-
What
you would-
qualifications do you need? I kind of
you
want to
train.
sign up for that.
Like, could you imagine swimming on a dolphin
probably die,
with
but
two
it's
sea
fine.
lions beside you just to get into a knife fight in the middle of the ocean in the midst of bombs?
Yeah.
I feel like this is something we need to talk to Mike Thornton about.
So the next time
How many dolphins have you
he
rid?
the guy that took me, he lives in Texas now.
yeah,
And the
of
next
course.
time he's in town, I will introduce you to him.
Dude,
and
you better.
as soon as you meet
I
him,
wanna
you'll
go
be
to
like,
that meeting.
that's how you qualify.
Yeah.
That's how you'll meet him and
Does
you'll
he
be like,
look,
okay.
does he seem like a guy that rides dolphins and
Yes.
kills people?
Yeah.
That's pretty like. Could you imagine? It's like you pick your squad. It's like Apex, but you're like, I'm gonna get.
Oh, okay.
I got my dolphin. That's a have to. I think I'm gonna pick 2 sea lions and a harpoon.
Yeah. Like one of the, like just like you meet him and you're just like, okay, I get it. Like, that was the job you were built for.
I honestly did not think I was going to walk away with this kind of information, but I feel...
I'm learning a lot.
I feel
I am.
like I would watch this whole podcast just to hear that last part.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I mean, that was like...
We'll have to clip that then.
No,
Yeah.
dude, that is amazing.
Maybe we can add that. I'm going to make a blooper reel.
Dude, that, like, you got to, like, if you get a hold of Mike... So, you know Trevor's stepdad was Mike Thornton from the original SEAL Team 6.
Okay.
Like, he is like, when you talk about... Like, Trevor, pull up a picture or somebody pull up a phone and look at this guy. So, like, he was in Vietnam at, what, 16, 17?
So
And
he's badass.
Dude, that is an understatement. Like, he trains the dolphins that train dolphins to kill people. Like,
Why have I not met him yet?
dude, he's an amazing man. And so show him the Wikipedia, like, look at his chest. Like,
dude.
No, this is nothing.
I've never seen
his
photos.
story.
Medal of Honor?
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah?
he is the Medal of Honor. Like, this guy is up there. And so he's, like, best friends with, isn't it Marcus Luttrell? And all of them, like, that have the, what was it? Marcus Luttrell's movie, the book,
His
the story.
book. Why can't I think off the top of my
I can't
head?
think of it. I know it. We were just talking
Dude,
about it.
He
he's
literally
here.
just
Like,
spoke about
I know.
this.
my
Yeah.
buddy Andrew runs his studio.
No.
Yeah, we're going to be meeting
So
with working
Mike,
tomorrow.
yeah, Mike, I'll have to remember his story, but it was
Dude,
like
here he
something
is with
insane.
Nixon.
Yeah. No, I mean, he is like, you talk about the coolest guy. This dude was in Vietnam when it happened, right? And they were storming a beach or like going up a canal, and these guys came out, and his best friend Tommy Norris got shot in the head, blew the side of his head off, and you'll see a picture of him and Tommy in there. And he went to go help Tommy, and then his commanding officer ran up to cover fire. And like I said, could be misdoing the story.
Is that them? Yeah.
And then his commanding officer got shot. Well, then he picks them both up, right? And he's dragging them back. And then a guy comes out of the bushes or out of somewhere and shoots him how many times? It was like, dude, it was like
A lot.
it was like more than 13, wasn't it? 13 times he got shot. And then didn't he like cram a bayonet down a dude's throat or something crazy? It was like, it's insane, dude. Well, then
Lord.
he takes Tommy Norris and his commanding officer,
runs.
deploys a vest, and then he swims for 2 hours with 13 plus bullet holes in him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and then when I was living next door to Trevor, when I was on like, I think my 4th or 5th adoption, I don't know. But I remember Mike would come down and he always ate fresh jalapenos all the time. Like, I think
that's where y'all get it
that's where we
from.
get it from.
Yeah.
And I remember one time he was like, Josh, how do you want your eggs? And I was like, how
do you want to make them?
I thought you were doing a great job. He was like, I haven't made anything. And I'm like, that's perfect too.
I'll eat them however you want to make them.
But dude, you'll have to.
Is he not around anymore?
No, he is.
He is?
No, he's
Yeah.
in Dallas, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's all. And then, like, I think when Trump was giving one of his speeches, he actually jumped out of a plane at like 70 and parachuted in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like that alone would make me vote for Trump. Because I'm just like, is that the Medal of Honor?
Oh, Mike's on board? Okay. Like we
oh.
all
If
better
he's
get
on this, then we're on it.
between Mike and the Dolphin guy and the Luttrells, I think we got like an army. We got like the A team.
We would be pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting dolphins. Yeah.
Could you imagine you're safe on land and then boom, F-16s come over and then you got dolphins coming
and
in?
seals.
Like
and
that's a
just-
different kind of invasion. Like no
One
one's
you've
ready.
definitely never heard of
like,
before.
especially like Japan. They thought they were safe because they were on an island. Little did they know that's our forte.
Yeah,
Like we've been training dolphins. We're gonna destroy you from the top and from the water. Nowhere is safe.
Nowhere safe. I was about to say
It's
that.
like the
nowhere
movie
safe.
Tremors. Like just when you think you're
We're
on a
just
high
out in the
note.
Oh
water.
my gosh, that's the most messed up movie ever.
It was so creepy when I was a kid.
We're just out in the water waiting for you guys. Come on out.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna stay on the
my
island. They're like, we can deal with that too.
Yeah.
We'll get you from every angle.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Oh man. So did we answer your
I think
question?
so. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
So like we got 2 more things we need to get through at least. We can talk about whatever else,
No,
but like
yeah,
we
I'm
need to talk about like what Woodforest Earth Works even does.
Yeah.
Because that's the business that's been joining the chambers. You guys are doing a bunch of cool stuff with that. Tell me what that business does.
So basically, it went like this: when K&H, which is K&H is a final, when we did Pine Acre Trails, when they first did it, we had so many problems with subcontractors and not being able to control people that I went to Kevin and I was like, hey guys, I think I can just do this stuff. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I think I can get the right people in the right room and just in-house all of this. And so WC was the first company. So I started WC when I was...
Woodforest Construction?
Yeah, Woodforest Construction.
Okay.
That's the main company that I own.
2016?
It was like 2016. I think I was like 20, 21.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I started it by sitting up at Home Depot, and I would put in random stuff. Like people would buy a toilet, and I'd be like, hey, can I put that in for you for like, $100? And I kept doing that. And then I would do one-off jobs with like Joey's dad and different people like Colton Rucker, and then people that kind of were trying to support me to kind of go, but it wasn't never making ends meet. But I had that hustler mentality. And so I kept building and building and building and building. And eventually it got to the point where I met, who is now one of my good friends, my best friends, I would call him, is Levi Love from L Squared Engineering.
Okay.
And so Levi came to me and he was like, hey man, I got to build out an office, and, can you do it? And I was like, I kind of like lied through my teeth. I was like, yeah, I can do it. I do this all the time. I didn't, and he knew I didn't. But,
He still had faith in you to do it.
He 100% had faith. It was the same faith like Kevin had. And that's why I tell you, I always have this deal is no one is... Like when I think of the most important people to me, like I love all the people in my life, but Kevin Mims and Levi Love definitely in my business, my spiritual, my heart career, like Kevin Cunningham saved my life. And I felt like Kevin Mims and Levi Love changed my life. Like they gave me the opportunity to be what I am today, and that's why I don't want to downplay anybody or upplay anybody more. It's just each one has its own chapter that's significant to me.
Sure.
And so with Levi, it was the office building that's actually right here in Conroe, and it was like a $400,000 remodel, my first remodel of that size, and it forever changed because then right after that I started meeting new people, networking, and then that's why I ran into Kevin and Harry, and they were like, "Hey, we got this park we're trying to build. Do you think you can build it?" I was like, yeah, of course I can. I do this stuff all the time. Come on, man.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. All
In
day.
my sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, lying through my teeth. That's what it was.
Hey, made it happen, though.
Well, I mean, they again, same deal, man. Kevin was like, all right, let's give him a shot. So I rounded up the people that I knew could do it. And, it was a big learning one, man. It was not just for me. It was the most important thing for me, but I know Kevin and Harry, it was a huge shift for them in our careers. But not only did we learn so much, but we went through so much that it changed the way we did business, the way we just did everything. It was our catalyst to who we are today, I would say. And WC was the GC over that. And so once we were midway through it, building it, we sold it to a company. And we did pretty well. And with that, we started putting the plan together. And so midway through it, the engineer on the first one, Pine Acre Trails, he was a great guy, but just not qualified for that size of a project. And I'm not one to bash people, but I was more qualified than he was, put it that way. And I was lying through my teeth about the whole thing. I mean, all that stuff was the first time I ever did any of it.
Yeah.
Right. And, so that's why I feel like I can say that. So midway through, not even midway, the plans weren't lining up, boundaries weren't lining up, elevations weren't making sense, cut and fill was off. I mean, there was nothing working the way it was supposed to work. So I went back to Levi and I was like, hey man, I need your help. And he was like, Josh, this is a real deal, man. This is not like a small, hey, you just do this, do that, and fix it. And
right.
He struck me a deal which was way, like it was like a best friend buddy deal, and came in and basically held my hand and gave me the knowledge that I could perform at the level Kevin and Harry needed me to. And I think Kevin and Harry saw that, and that's what they saw is like, if I don't have the answer, I will find it.
Right.
I won't just sit there. I won't lie. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, and I won't put it wrong. I will find the people that know how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the first step into surrendering who I was to who I wanted to be. And when that happened, after that, we ended up fixing everything, tweaking everything, getting it the way it was, and got it where it was going, and we sold it. Well, then that's when I came up with the idea. I was like, I might as well just do the rest, man. I was like, I can in-house these. If I can figure out how utility lines are laid, manholes, the whole nine, I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. Right. I just need to find the smartest people in the room, and I need them to sit at the table with me. I need to make them such an enticing offer that they can't refuse. Mm-hmm. And so the first member, I would say, of my team was Jeremy. Jeremy is the one that I did Woodforest Earth Works with. Okay. And so Jeremy has been doing dirt work for many years. Man, I would probably say 15, 20 years. I mean, this dude has been on a dozer since he was a kid. Like, and his dad, his dad's like the coolest guy.
Genius.
Dude, his dad is like a super guy.
Alan Jackson. He looks like Alan Jackson.
He has the mullet and everything, and he's like the most, and he could tear apart a whole deal, like a
Didn't
whole
he take
dozer.
a car apart in a day and put it back together?
I don't think it was a day, but it was something insane.
It was.
I mean,
like,
I'm not saying like he
done.
just like pulled out a part. No, I mean he pulled out the motor, he pulled off the top, he pulled out the seats. It was like a couple days, but I mean, it was an insane amount. Like it was stuff that you would like. It would take me 6 months because I procrastinate or I drank too much, and then I fall asleep.
I'd be like, I don't know how to do this. I'm done.
I'd be over there YouTubing, but this dude just does it like it's
just
the
takes
back
it apart.
Well, then Jeremy is a spitting image, spitting image, and so I knew Jeremy was.
Does he have a mullet too?
No.
That's a shame.
But
Maybe
he
we
does.
should ask
Hey,
him
but
about
hey,
one.
he does have 3 race cars, and he's won a lot of races. So I
Okay.
feel like that's equivalent to a mullet.
Maybe if he grew the mullet, he would win more.
He's going to watch this and be like, what? Do you need me to get a
think,
mullet now?
I think they just need to put him behind a wheel, and he'll win. They ended up tearing down Gator Speedway, and that's why he hasn't won anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, they took away his track. That's the only way to stop him.
We'll find him a new track and get him a mullet.
That is one way to stop him from winning. It's just
Like, you can't win what you can't race.
Yeah. But he is he really...
Yeah, just, I mean, all the people in our company have so many things, and I've handpicked all the people on our side so carefully. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always thoughtfulness. It's always undervalue. It's always things that they never thought they would do, and they end up, like, I can look at people and be like, this is for you. Yeah. Like, this is what you were meant to do. And I'm the crazy bastard that puts it all together and takes the biggest risk and makes it happen. Right. And I put all that, and that's where it works so well. Like, I'm the catalyst, but I'm not the flame that keeps it going. Mm-hmm. And that's where, again, back to the 13%. 13% me, rest them all day. So we ended up, after that, we started Woodforest Earth Works. Mm-hmm. Well, then I was like, I might as well put a bow on this and call it a day. So we went ahead and I met Mike Shannon, and we did the electrical company. And then I had my best friend, Trevor, that I've known forever. And, Trevor right here. And I was like, dude,
hey, babe,
let's do the plumbing company. He was like, I don't know anything about plumbing. I was like, I didn't know anything about any of this when I did it. And he was
I
like,
learned all my marketing and web design from YouTube.
He was like, all right, I mean, I guess I ain't got nothing else I can do. He's like, I'm not going to go pro golfing anymore, but let's do something. So we started the utilities company. And Jeremy, the great thing about Jeremy is he knows all of this stuff. Uh-huh. Like, he knows about sewer lines, water lines, manholes. I mean, dirt, elevations,
really
cut grade, GPS, the whole nine. So, and he's not greedy. He's very generous. He reminds me of KO and Kevin and all of them. They just give and give and give. And that's who you want around you in your environment, are people who give you that when you are successful, even if it's more successful than they are, they love it. Mm. And so we started the utilities company. Well, once we got all this stuff going, we did a job in Moran. We did the Moran Ranch, HEB in Willis. We cleared like 100 acres, a little section of it. But I ended up spending like a couple hundred, I would say, even not just that project, all the other projects I did as well. Between that and finishing Pine Acre Trails, we probably spent $600,000 renting equipment.
Right.
And so I went to Kevin and Harry, and I was like, hey, guys, and I showed them all the numbers, and I was like, I think we can do this together. And they were like, yeah. And so that's how Lionheart was made, Lionheart Equipment. And so that's an equipment company that rents out water trucks, dozers, excavators. And it just kept, all this stuff just kept compounding and compounding. Mm-hmm. And so now we have in our pipeline for this year, We have 4 jobs, I want to say, down in Houston, and I want to say like 5 in Dallas.
Okay.
And each one of them ranges between 12 to 13 million per job. And
It's gonna be a good year.
it's going to be a great year, but it's a great year because of great people.
Yeah.
Like, people look at the projects and they're like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you," but they don't see how
There's a
bad.
lot that goes in behind
Yeah,
it.
how many times we have passed by Kevin and he's just stuck in his office, like looking at 6 monitors and just tearing through numbers and making stuff work. Or how you go by Harry's office and he's on the phone, like 20 something phone calls, just negotiating, wheeling and dealing with brokers and banks and all these things. And how we're just such a well-oiled, like, we are so well balanced. Like, it's like I couldn't ask to be in a better place. I couldn't ask. Like, I look at those guys, man, and like, I mean, I think about these people when I go home. I think about them when I'm working. I think about them when I'm sad. I mean, I am literally in the light, as I like to call it. And it's forever changed my life. And not only that, so once we started doing all this stuff, we actually brought Levi and his team on, and they engineered all of these.
Yeah.
So we not only did we learn from our mistakes, but we gave wealth and opportunity back to people around us. It wasn't just me. I mean, and then with that, we've hired multiple people, and we've hired KO. KO's the next piece as this, and she kind of was
is
right after.
amazing.
She was right after Jeremy. She is an amazing woman. I mean,
She juggles
just
a
have you
lot
met
and
Cassandra?
gets it done.
Oh, actually, I think I saw her on Facebook while we were doing the show. She was sharing.
Yeah.
She was sharing what we were doing.
She's
Yeah.
just so support. She will
the
immediately.
sweetest soul,
she
too.
she will always be there. Like, if I ever got in trouble, she would be the first person I call. And I'm not saying anything about bashing Trevor. I love Trevor, but KO is the
Trevor's
most
your boy,
dependable
KO's your
person on my side of the table.
Yeah.
And just because I don't want to bother Kevin and Harry.
She's supporting you tonight. I mean,
Dude, she support. I mean, she reads my email. She responds. She checks my grammar. She checks all of our qualifications. Any kind of stuff that I get into, like any data that I need to pull, she not only has a way of articulating it in a way where I'm not dropping 27 F-bombs, but in a way that not only people understand what I'm saying, but I say it in a way that motivates and it brings people to the table. And because I'm great at finding, like, I can look at you and say, hey, let's hire Jess. And they're like, well, we have to look at the rest. And I'm like, Jess, you hired.
Yeah.
And the KO's like, what are you doing? We got to go through the screenings. We have the proper and the procedures. And then, a week later, she's like, oh my God, Jess is amazing. And I was like, there's a method to my madness, and it is madness.
All right. So I got to ask you,
Yeah.
Rizzler, can you bring up this comment on the screen? The one from Colton. You know Colton Rucker?
Yeah. So Colton was the original person that helped me start my website of Woodforest Construction.
Okay. His comment was the catalyst.
The catalyst.
What is the catalyst?
It's the same as, if Colton's listening, it's the same as I'm the greatest out of all the brothers.
How?
Nah, he's, Colton is, so Colton owns Dockline Magazines and
Oh,
Volley.
okay.
So they are a marketing, company that they do all of our website, our cards. They helped us with a lot of stuff. Like, Colton he is one of those guys that, like, because Colton is Joey Rucker's little brother, and Joey Rucker is the one that married my sister, Vanessa, my foster sister.
Okay.
That's Donna's adopted daughter.
Okay.
And so Vanessa took over. So when Donna was dying of cancer, she was the one that took over Donna's torch. So I could not do that. I'm not even a man. So I'm like, my sister is, she gets on to me all the time. She's always throwing stuff at me for saying inappropriate things.
Okay.
So Colton was a big part of that, putting, instead of just me looking like a Mexican at Home Depot, right? It actually
Put the icing on the cake.
it put the icing. It gave me
Yeah.
a profile and gave me a spot to put my pictures and stuff. So he was kind of my first step into professionalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
I love. Yeah.
I didn't understand it, so I was like, I need to know.
I know it's funny because
Catalyst.
we used to have this picture of me. I'll have to find it, man. It's been forever, but it was Josh getting it done. And my first car that I bought when I got back was a Honda Civic. And I bought it from one of the other foster boys for $300. No, I shit you not. And then I used this car for construction. So I would have, no, I'm not joking.
You
I
see
would
like
have,
stuff out the windows.
no. It's better. I had
gosh.
sheets of plywood. Like, not just like 4
I
or
need
5.
somebody on
like,
here to make this a meme.
Like 7 sheets of plywood on top of the car with bags of concrete.
Oh gosh.
A ladder.
How did it not cave in?
I don't know, dude. I guess it was, I mean, I hate to say this is like
can just
Hiroshima, but it's
imagine
like
it.
no matter
Oh
how
my
much you
gosh.
try to destroy it, they're just, those cars are built well, man.
Where is that car now?
I actually gave it to my brother.
Yeah.
And
Been gone ever since?
yeah, he's probably gonna just,
How long ago?
I'm all about giving. So
I bet you that thing's still running.
Oh, I guarantee it. And if it's not, just got to clean the coils and the spark plugs.
It's like Herbie, man. It just
Dude.
comes to life.
Just keep going.
But no, and
Just keep chugging.
I had paint buckets in this, and you can see me pulling up to the job site, and I have a strap all the way around the back of the car and the front of the car, so I can't go out the door. I have to climb out the window
Oh gosh.
to get out.
Your Duke's a hazard in it.
Dude, I was making it. I was.
If that's not commitment, I don't know what
Dude,
is.
I was committed. Yeah, I was committed, man.
Like, we're gonna construct. We're gonna construct.
I want to find that photo so we can put it in the new office, being like, "This
Just
is what Josh
frame
is
it.
now. This is what he was before."
You need that picture.
They
I want
need me
that.
to do
picture.
Yeah.
now and after photos. I mean, I can make that happen.
Dude.
We can frame it and put it up.
Dude, that was one of mine. But yeah, so Colton he just likes to be funny.
Yeah.
So
So one of the reasons I wanted to ask about what Woodforest, because I know you guys are like building the roads, you're building like the drainage, you're like you're essentially setting the
site
neighborhood.
work. So
Yes.
it's earthworks.
Everything from
Yes.
the ground up,
Yeah,
basically.
so we'll go in and we'll take a fully fledged site, like 30 acres, 100
Yeah.
acres, whatever it is, and we will cut down the trees. Right, we'll log them if we can.
How dare you?
Okay, well it's money.
Hey, if that's what the customer needs.
Hey, so I'm just saying it's economics.
Yeah.
It's we
No,
can plant more.
we can grow
somewhere
more.
else.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I just need to get my righteous indignation out on you.
go ahead.
That's
Have
fine.
at it. Get in line. Nobody likes me.
I want to represent
Here we
the,
go.
the small portion of the
Hey.
listenership that like actually cares.
I care. If it makes you feel better, I will start listening.
Okay.
I'll start supporting you.
All right.
But
What's happening here?
You're about to be disconnected
Yeah.
for your comment and not caring about me or not liking me.
Specifically the trees.
Yeah, the trees.
Yeah, care about the
No,
trees,
so
Josh.
we go in, Earthworks goes in, they clear the trees, they pull up the stumps, they root rake, they cut grade. It's called cut and fill. So that's where you start cutting in all your roads. You start balancing the site, digging the detention pond, building up the pad sites or however you're doing them.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's mostly a dirt work deal. So they won't really, on our side, they help with the utilities because we're one big team.
Yeah.
But that's typically their kind of realm. So like even if you're on the other side of town, you're like, Josh, I need a 2-acre pond. They would go out there, dig it up, cut it, pack the bottom, line it with clay, put a well point in, fill it with water, whatever you needed. Sometimes you can hit a spring. Sometimes it naturally goes there. It just depends on the lay of the land. So that's what Woodforest Earth Works does. So it specializes in site work, demolition, cut, grade, and excavation.
Mm-hmm.
So
why is it important for people who are going to be buying homes in these neighborhoods to know that someone that actually has some competency is doing the work that you guys are doing?
well, I think that's, that kind of ties back to anything. I mean, you got to trust what you're investing in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where people don't, this is back to the single vote, in my opinion. Every little bit counts. You don't need to be a high rolling player to make a couple $100,000 for you to have a valuable asset. If you own a trailer that's $100,000, that $100,000 is a lot to you.
Right.
Like no different than my Honda was to me. Yeah, it was $300, but that $300 got me to where I am today. Had I not had that $300, I wouldn't be where I am.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to meet who I got to meet. And so tie in your home, because if you put a home out there and you're in a neighborhood that just slaps up some homes
Yeah.
and something happens, like the ground gives out
Yeah.
and your house
That's an
collapses,
expensive fix, too.
unless you got the money to hire an attorney to go back against the builder and sue them,
Good luck.
Yeah.
luck.
You
Yeah.
need somebody
Yeah.
out there
So-
first off from the bottom up knowing what
I mean,
they're
like,
doing.
just taking pride.
I mean, just
Yeah.
as like a practical example for like where we live. I mean, you look at some of the homes in like River Plantation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same
Right?
deal.
Flood areas.
Same
Awesome.
exact
I mean,
deal.
like these guys are dealing with the fact that like there was not good drainage
Yeah.
established in a neighborhood that like no matter what,
It's always gonna
It doesn't matter
Hardly.
when it floods. It's always going to
gonna
flood
flood.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, so that would be my answer to you. Would be any investment, whether it's a house, it's a car, anything. I mean, it could all the way be down to you investing into yourself. It's all about what you take in. So you're eating right, you're gonna be good.
Right.
You're eating right, doing healthy, exercising, you're gonna naturally feel better. But if you're drinking all the time, eating like crap, not exercising, you're gonna feel a lot worse.
Yeah.
And then watch. It's kind of like there was a story that I heard from I think Paul told me. It was like a joke. I don't think it was a real story. It could have been. But there was a guy that was a commander on a Navy ship.
Is Papa, is that
Trevor's grandpa.
Yeah, did I tell you about?
Well, like I've met him, and like my buddy Jay Hugh loves him.
Yeah.
Dude,
So I
he's
connected
does like all of his
coolest
air
person
conditioning
ever.
Yeah, I
work.
connected them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came to the Journey Home deal for the last year event. So did I ever tell this story about that?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me tell this one. I'm gonna tell that one. I'm a man of. I've lived so many lives.
Just in this one life.
So, this guy, I don't know what he was, but he was more or less a ship coordinator for a massive tanker ship. So if he told the ship to move, it moved. So he was the guy that got it from point A to point B. Well, one day, this guy, he was known as the laziest guy in the crew. Did not do anything. But he was the smartest guy. Because he was smart and he was lazy, he found the best way to do it, the easiest way.
Right.
Right. And so what I'm getting at is trajectory. So one time he gets up, he goes and eats breakfast. Well, where he sits down is where he always sits down. He doesn't want to move. But the sun's right in his face. So he calls the captain, or calls the guy commanding the ship. He says, hey, move it 2 degrees to the left. Guy moves it 2 degrees to the left. And then the sun goes from right here to like right here. And everybody in the ship looks at him and laughs. Because then for the rest of the time, until he finished his breakfast, the sun just kept going that way. And then when he was done, he's like, all right, put it 8 degrees back. And then it went right back on course. And so it's so funny because like a small investment, whether it's your house, your body, your life, financial well-being, you may not see the changes that you're making today, but give it 50 years.
Oh, that progress will show.
Give it 30 years. Watch it. You won't see it in a year. It's always tough. It's like, oh, I haven't started losing weight. It's been 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to
You're
see
not gonna
results
see
that
it.
fast.
Give it a minute. Yeah.
Give it a minute. And so give it a week. Give it 10 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Give it a year. Give it 5 years.
Yeah.
Give it,
Yeah.
20 years. Watch how much your life changes. And so what you were saying about the house, which is any house, not just the neighborhoods we build.
Yep.
Imagine if your house broke one time every single year.
Right.
You always had one problem, AC, foundation, anything. You always had a problem. How would you feel knowing every single year you were going to have a problem?
Yeah, I would not like that.
So to answer your question, the reason I would have somebody competent build, which the reason I hire the people that I hire,
Right.
is because I'm here for the longevity of my short term in my life.
Yeah.
So I think it's important not only just in our assets, but in the people we surround ourselves by.
Well, and like home ownership is one of those weird ones. Like no one wants to pay top dollar. You know, everyone wants a deal.
You get what you
Until
pay for.
until you get what you pay for.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
so like if you're looking for the cheapest house, well, chances are that builder hired the cheapest
Yes.
land
Contractor.
company
Yep.
Yeah.
to
Contract
do
do
the
it.
to
Yeah.
do the foundation work that
Yeah.
their foundation is going to be sitting on. That's going to
Yes.
just be giving them problem after problem after problem year over year.
Yep.
And so like it's one of like for exactly to your point, like what is you're entering in, most people are entering to a 30-year mortgage.
Yep.
You know, what is the trajectory of that mortgage for you to maintain that property?
Yeah, especially if the asset doesn't last longer than the mortgage.
Right.
Yeah, that's the last thing you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like people in the neighborhood that we mentioned have been experiencing that over the last 10 years where they've had like 2 floods.
Yeah.
And your flooders insurance is probably through the roof. Like,
Well, like, they've taken it away.
oh, they
Did
did?
they really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I would
gosh.
imagine. I mean, because you can't. It's like tough luck.
It's
Well, the insurance company's looking at it going like, we can't
Keep doing this.
we
Yeah.
can't keep doing
Because
this.
half the time, a lot of the people, from what I heard, they actually don't stay in the home.
I know some
They
people that
keep
were
the
in there
cash
during
and they
Harvey.
just sell the house, and then somebody
Yeah.
else comes in
Yep.
there.
They
and
leave a shell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time.
That's crazy.
And there probably ought to be better regulations on that. But again, it's America. You can do what you want, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, you and I mean, we're coming up on like an hour and 40. So, and we haven't talked about the event we got coming up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We need to talk about the event.
I was getting right there.
Did you have it? Wait, let me make sure. There's anything else you want to talk about before we get to the...
Unless you want to hear about my story with... Oh, we could do that another time with me and Trevor.
Okay.
That's
want to get
cool.
Trevor on the mic? Is that the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much part of the show.
About
He's
how
back
we
here
met.
just looking good.
about the whole thing with Paul and then me asking you to come to the birthday and that
Oh,
whole
yeah.
night.
How you guys basically became friends.
No, we were best friends before that.
Oh.
Yeah, me
That's
and
not how you met?
No.
Oh, no.
We were best friends
Yeah,
before that.
because you
And
asked to come to your birthday.
His
That's right.
grandfather, we had to fill out applications to let him come over. Well, because he was my attorney, because, in foster care, you can't just have friends come over.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No,
Yeah.
why do you think I don't have any friends?
Oh, gosh.
I was either in jail or no one could see me. Literally, those were it. But it's like you have to fill out all these paperworks for you to even, then half the time he couldn't even step foot on the property.
Oh.
Like he only come over like a few times. We'd hang out at school.
Yeah.
Because that's the only government middle ground. But we had been best friends since what, 4th grade, 3rd grade? And I asked my case worker at the time that I wanted to have a birthday party. And so that's when they were like, okay, well, let's didn't just have a birthday party. And I was like, well, I want to invite a friend. And they're like, that's a different story. You got to get that approved. Well, we submitted all the paperwork to CPS. And lo and behold, Dawn calls up Donna and gets me on the phone and was like, you know Trevor Grant? And I was like, yeah, Trevor Grant's my best friend. And he was like, Trevor Grant is my grandson. Mm-hmm. And so Dawn was taking on cases for CPS for free and just happened to take my case. And he was my representative. He was my legal representative. And at the same time, I was best friends with his grandson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And they are joined basically at the hip. I am left out if it's the two of them together. They walk off and I'm just like, I thought I was dating Trevor, but that's...
Yeah.
Got an extra one in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt when she came in. So I was like, I don't mind. Gives me a break.
I mean, I'm pretty cool.
Someone else to snuggle with.
Yeah. That's a negative.
No. He's pretty cool, though.
She can, I put a guest room for
Well,
her.
not
Yeah,
you.
we have...
No, he's
Not you.
Like, that's just weird. No, we have our own room at Josh's house. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's only just for her to have a bed when Trevor wants to come hang out with me.
Yeah.
All right. So what
The shoe.
this thing that you and I are
Yes.
doing together?
Okay.
Yeah, we got this thing coming up
So,
that I'm gonna get in trouble if we don't talk about.
Yeah, hey, I'm
Yeah.
always in trouble.
May
Yeah.
19th.
Like, trouble's my middle name. It's actually
Look at that.
Tyler Dean.
We got the calendar.
Yeah.
I
So
am
May
a walking
19th.
calendar.
So we have a big deal that we sponsor that we love. We started backing it kind of heavily last year, and we're gonna get heavier this year. But it's called Journey Home.
Mm-hmm.
So Journey Home is a maternity home for women that either have babies or want to have babies. So if they haven't had the baby and say they're in a bad relationship,
Yeah.
and because my mom wanted to have 2 abortions with me when I was younger, so it kind of struck a little chord with me.
Yeah.
Because I don't care what side of the table that you sit on. For me to be one of that less than 2% babies, right, that were forced, and to almost go through an abortion and to have my life now, I love it.
Yeah.
And so I,
Completely
once
pro-life.
again,
Yeah.
picked a side.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be that 15 or whatever % that just sat there. So I'm going to decide, and this home does that. So if they're in a bad relationship and the wife or the husband, whichever, or it's more for women. So say the husband's on drugs and wants to have an abortion and the wife's like, no, I want to keep it. This is a home for them.
Yeah.
And it's up to 2 years, right?
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
it's
so.
Where you
That
can
sounds
raise
right.
where you can
Yeah.
raise the baby there, and they help you basically get back on your feet, like get
Yeah,
your
from a
degree,
driver's-
get a
yeah.
car, everything.
driver's license, your birthday. I mean, your
Yeah.
birth certificate, everything you need to live your life.
They help you get there.
They help you get there.
Yeah.
And so it's not only just
And I think it's the
pro-life.
only one in this county.
It's the only
Yes.
one in the county.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only one in Montgomery County, which is
I think
the
it
largest
houses
county.
11 people.
I think it's a lot less than that because
is.
I think it's like it has 6 women. I want to say, and each woman can have 2 kids in there.
Okay.
I think
yeah.
that's
2
right.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when we bought it, we did the fundraiser last year. I went and I toured it with Billy and them, I think last year. But we want to do more this year. And depending on, and Kevin and Harry are actually huge backers and advocates for this as well.
Yeah.
Because they're devout Catholics. And so part of our deals, depending on how the parks go, we actually want to carve off a section of our trailer homes. And because we...
It's like transitional?
Yeah, for them.
Okay.
Because they can't, the hard part about people getting on their feet is they can't afford stuff. Like, you
Yeah.
got to
Right,
get a
yeah.
credit check. You got to do all this crap.
If you don't have that, then how are you
And
supposed to get out
you can get
in
a
the
2
world?
to 3 bedroom house, and these are nice houses, and they got like brick skirting around the bottom. We have a $1 million amenity center. We got a splash pad. We have a pool, and we do background checks on everybody that lives in our neighborhoods because we own them and we run them.
You want a good
And,
community.
yeah, you want a good community, and so not only are they safe, but the whole thing is like $750
Yeah.
for the month. What is more economical?
Nobody can find anything more affordable than that right now.
And in a neighborhood like that, with people like Kevin and Harry that care about the community, that care about the environment, like all of us,
Yeah.
you know, and so we want to carve off 20 homes, and we want to try to do something here local in Conroe because we have a development that we're trying to close on here near 242 and 1314, and we don't know where it's going to be. We're just because you know how stuff is, things change. But so basically, that's what this home does: is it helps single moms or people who are on the streets or hooked on drugs and they want to be a mother. We help them
Better your
become
life, yeah.
we help them become the mother they want to be and they should be.
Yeah.
So that's what May 19th. And so we're having a skeet shoot that we're sponsoring. We're cooking barbecue, Blackwood Gun Range. And we're going to be cooking brisket, ribs. I mean, you know,
We're going to have some pretty cool prizes.
Oh yeah, I'm donating
Yeah.
some of my guns, and we're trying to get some cooler stuff in there. I don't want to say anything.
We can
yet.
get some cool stuff.
I know.
We've got some really good ideas in mind
yeah.
for some
So
stuff too.
because we've been inviting everybody, and we encourage everybody to come.
Yeah.
Because I think this is something the community loves. I think it's something that we should back. And like I said, this is how you slowly fix all those broken homes.
Right.
You rejoin the people that are meant to be together.
Yeah.
You know. And
Well, I mean, so like we're kind of partnered up on that. I'm emceeing this event.
Yeah.
You're sponsoring this event.
Yeah.
We're going to be out there supporting these people. We're going to be shooting guns. I mean, there's no better way to support a nonprofit than
Guns.
executing your 2A rights,
Yeah.
and shooting inanimate objects, because it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I mean,
It's
like,
going to be a good time.
and do you know what it costs to have a team?
I think
It
it's
is 200.
a person.
Yes, 200 a person.
200
And you
a person?
Can have,
It's like
yes,
2 or
and you
250 a
and you
person.
can do a 4-person team, or you can also do individually.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you're one of those
Yes.
old dudes that just
You just
shoot
wanna go out
hundreds
and
and
have-
98s
yeah.
and you just want to show how great you are, this is your deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
And we give you free barbecue.
Nice. Are we doing like so? Some of the other ones that I do, are we doing belt buckles?
We haven't decided.
Okay.
I mean, that's where we got to get creative because I've got some prizes. I know I'm donating 2 of my guns.
Okay.
I'm probably going to give away like a 308 with the composite stock and a threaded barrel.
Okay.
And then I may give away like a 264. Well, maybe not my 264. I love that gun. I'll find another one that's a good.
There's a lot to
a
choose
good-
from.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I bet you. Just saying. I think maybe we could do like some Woodforest Earth Works and some homeowner show belt buckles.
Yeah.
For the
whatever.
winners.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a
we
cool
wanna
idea.
do. We're going to do like raffles. We're going to do all sorts of things. But we got
I
to
think
do
we
it
have
quick
some
because
hunts
we
maybe
have,
in
like,
mind.
Yeah.
That's not very long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like,
May 19th, we have about,
How,
that's
do you
about
have,
3
do you know how many
weeks.
people we got signed up already?
Quite a few.
How many?
I haven't
Do you know how
checked
much
my
room? How
emails.
many teams we have room for?
between 50 people and 100 people, I think.
Yeah.
Is the most.
So 100 people.
'Cause
100
I
probably
know-
people
So 25
max.
teams.
Probably about 25
Yeah,
teams.
that sounds about right to
Okay.
me.
So I mean, I've been hitting a lot of people up.
Yeah,
like,
we like our morning mingle like at First Financial, and yesterday we went to a networking event over with Township
Woodlands.
of the Woodlands.
Yeah.
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 And we spoke to a lot of people that
about
are going to be coming out and
I end up-
helping sponsor even.
we go out there to end up talking about the business, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, my
There's a
business
skeet
is cool,
shoot.
but
Look at this.
let's
Yeah.
not die. Let's
Yeah.
start with this.
Here's the deal: is Jeff and Aaron Bearden, who own Blackwood One, like they love this organization, and they run an amazing course out there.
Oh yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
Remember, you got me to sign up, and I didn't even know what I was signing up.
I know we walked in
like-
there. He's like, I'm a member. Don't I get this? And
I was like,
oh,
he was
yeah.
like, you remember? I was like, I think I am. That
Yeah.
or I spent like $700.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because you're
Yeah.
I was like,
I
And I think I signed up Thomas Martinez too. And Thomas was like, we're members. And I was like, yeah, we're members. So what?
Well, if nothing, you can use my membership. That's fine.
I have my own.
I need to get one.
need to
Hey,
use mine.
I got my shot the first time, and I had not shot in 7 years.
When did you go?
How long ago did we go?
I mean, it was
a few weeks, maybe a month ago.
We try to go like once a week.
Okay. You
Yeah.
didn't,
It was
no
good,
invite
though.
to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured you were just
It's
doing
like
amazing.
You can take a day off from the office.
I can literally
There you
ride a
go.
horse there.
I thought you were so slammed. I knew you were out there doing God's
That-
work, and
you know-
I just did
Sushi
not
and
want to
guns?
stop.
That's what we should do. Is we should do all of our shots off a horseback,
I would do that.
just to show that we're men.
Have you seen me in the horseback riding clothes? I look so good. I look like a.
He'll
like
think that. What is it?
I look
What
like
is
a
your
Spanish
Cabrera
prince.
jacket? I don't know
my
how you
capybara?
say that. Yeah, whatever.
I got a capybara jacket down
He'll
in
be
Argentina.
up there with that. America.
America. We're so American. I took this from Argentina, and now it's mine. And now
Right,
it's
you're
now it's
shooting.
part of our culture, just like the typical American way. We invade, adopt, and now it's ours. Freedom.
We
Freedoms.
would raise so much awareness doing every shot off a horseback.
I would.
I don't know if
Hey,
they'll
we
let
can
us.
put that on our YouTube channel though.
I mean, I would. I'm pretty persuasive.
Yeah.
I'll be behind the camera. Just let me know.
Yeah.
All
As long
right.
as I get to wear those boots, man. Man, those pants.
I'm gonna
I
ask
look-
him if I can ride my horse through the course.
I wouldn't see why not. Have
Hey,
you
let-
ever shot off the back of your horse?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then why not?
I've got one that I know I can do. I don't know about the. I'll put
think
you on the one I don't know about.
Well, I do.
Accident waiting to
hear me
happen.
out. I think I have a miniature donkey that's pretty loyal to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 A burro.
Yeah, how would you look shooting skeet off a miniature donkey?
I think handsome would be my first thought.
He's
Culture-
elevating the donkey.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if anything, and by the name, the donkey's name is Potato
Oh, that makes things better.
because he looks like a potato.
Yeah.
But
cute.
he is adorable.
So he's incentivized not to run anyway.
yeah, I don't. I mean, even if he did run, it would just be like a.
Put up.
Yeah.
Just imagine yelling
I
at
could
him,
walk
potato,
faster.
come back. Like I can't even get mad
Right.
at it.
You're just like, has anybody seen my
Potato.
And they're like, you're looking for a potato. I was like, listen,
It's a
dude,
donkey, okay?
it's about yay
I realize
big.
this is confusing.
Yes.
Oh, I just need y'all to bring up the speed.
You should probably explain that before you start yelling at a donkey.
I'm just gonna
called
have a
potato.
cape on him that says "If lost, return to owner"
with a little potato like
with a
icon
little
on
potato.
it.
Yeah.
Or if lost, plant and garden.
Yes, yes.
Oh man. But no,
But
yeah, I could.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna
think
be
potato
it's
would
gonna
do
be a
well
really
around
good time.
guns.
All right, we're gonna have to come up with something fun to do.
I'm all for it, man.
All right.
I mean, I literally am. If I went through my phone and showed you the cool stuff I've done, I'm always down for a good time.
Okay.
Anything,
Okay.
including potatoes.
Potatoes.
Swim with the dolphins. We do a company trip to go swim with the dolphins.
I don't know about that.
Ooh,
After
I could-
hearing that story, man,
Hey.
and knowing the facts that I know about dolphins, I
Oh,
don't
come
feel
on.
safe.
We're not going to be back with like rocket launchers on them. It's just a company trip.
You said that before this, you didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
might
trust
be able
that.
to talk him into coming down for that. He
come on.
might do it.
Trevor, you should get Mike to come down.
It would.
Dude.
If we could get them together
That
to
would be
like share
cool.
stories,
Dude,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
because
some of those guys, man, the stuff
They
they
probably
I do
have
because
the
like I
stories on
shared with you the
stories.
story that like I know that I can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to share like
Yeah.
the
A
other.
couple whiskeys
Yeah.
with him. and
That's what
he'll-
I'm saying. Is like
yeah.
if I say hey, there's a bottle of Angel's Envy in it for
Dude,
you.
I'll bring something. Even
And I'd be like, all right, all the secrets about to come out.
If I'm getting dolphin-related war stories, I will crack open some pappies.
I'm saying. Like,
I'm just. I mean, you tell me
you
what
can't.
you want.
You can't though because that is less than 75 days away.
Yeah, we're all on that right now.
I mean,
He tried to get
I'll
me
crack
to
it
not
open.
do
Wait.
sweets, and I'm like, are you
no,
crazy?
no, 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 no,
do
no,
you
no.
know me?
Wait, hear me up. No, I'm not saying that I'll crack it open for me. I'm a generous man.
Okay, I know.
I'll
Well, that's
Crack it
true.
open for
I
somebody
will
else in the
trade
crowd.
thousands of dollars for whiskey for entertainment of dolphin war stories.
You will be entertained, my friend.
That is, I am a man, like, that is exactly why I live.
I'm
when
gonna-
people are like, why do you work? And I'm like, I need money to buy expensive whiskey to hear about
To hear
war
To hear
stories.
about dolphin war stories.
Like, this is not a want,
It's a
guys.
worthy
It's a
investment.
need.
It's a
It's a
worthy
need.
investment.
Yeah. I'm like, now, you know what I'm going to be talking about for the next 72 hours?
Yeah, I'll be at work, and he's like
War
not gonna be able to
dolphins.
shut
As
up.
war dolphins.
I'm
Yeah.
going to start making war dolphin cries. Yeah. It's gonna be a thing now. At
I'm
the
gonna get
office.
headphones and stuff for the
You're
office.
gonna need it. 'Cause my screech is gonna be legendary.
His desk is right by mine. What are you doing?
I'm gonna have to dig out the picture so I can show you.
I'm gonna have like dolphin marks.
Oh god.
I'm gonna have like I don't know what a dolphin symbol is.
It's gonna be
but
a
I'm
very
like, yeah.
interesting next week or so at the office.
Yeah, I mean, I think the
Between
only
that and potato, man, it's gonna be like a war cry.
donkeys and dolphins.
Donkeys and dolphins.
That sounds like a good
It's like
podcast.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm gonna get a potato to sit on his desk now.
Yeah. Could you imagine going
I
up to
will
one
do
of
it.
those like D&D deals where they're like, "Hey, you want to play D&D?" And it's like, "Oh, y'all meant Dungeons and Dragons. I thought you meant dolphins and donkeys."
Dolphins.
And they're like, "When is dolphins and donkeys a thing?" And I was like, "So, let me tell you about this podcast."
Episode 245 of the Homeowner Show.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, don't miss it.
You tune in. You'll get a lot of information you never knew you needed.
Rizzler doesn't want his name on it. He's out. He's like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Don't be affiliated with the Dolphins.
Coolest thing, man.
War
Watch this
Dolphins.
be like the best show ever.
That's a pretty good show.
All right, so we got to wrap this thing up. If go ahead and hit the music there. If people want to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
Y'all can go to our website. We're also part of the Deacon Baldy's family. So we got with Kevin Mims and Harry Winslow, right off of 1488. We're in the green building in the back.
All right, cool. Is there like a phone number?
Yeah, I mean, we got
You want to just link it up in the show notes?
Yeah, we'll link it
Yeah.
up.
We'll link it up.
That'd be the easiest.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Check in with us next week. We'll be back with probably not as good an episode as this one, but something, 70%. Thank you guys.
60 at best.